Well, it's Saturday the 31st of July. This is episode 2128 of 301 Permanently Moved to Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded and edited by me, at the JMO. To the crew of the Margate surfboat, Friend to All Nations. From the Cap in Bells by Sir Owen Freeman, first publication, 1900. All night the pitiless blast had swept, out of the northeast blind as hell. Ere dawn the sudden signal leapt. Death's meteor signal leapt and fell. Then as the cry for rescue rang, with quick farewell to child and wife, into the roaring surf they sprang, to yield their lives for a stranger's life. Friend to all nations, friend at need, where danger sets the task to do. Not ill they choose the name to speed, the gallant craft and the gallant crew. Stout hearts of Kent that heard the call of man to man in the face of death. Is this the end of all, these bodies dank with the salt sea's breath? Nay, but their names shall stand in gold, when the open books of God are read, with deeds remembered and deeds untold, that wait till the sea gives up its dead. The Great Storm of 1897 is described in Kent Shipwrecks by Alan Bignell as the worst storm. For 4 days, from the 28th of November through the 2nd of December, cyclonic winds blew at hurricane forces, leaving the coastline strewn with the wrecks of small craft torn from their moorings. Debris from destroyed buildings littered the sands. In the National Archives, there are photos showing the devastation. One shows part of the destroyed Marine Palace and the Switchback Railway, the Victorian-era roller coaster that ran along the cliffside, on what is now the site of the Turner Contemporary Gallery. The wind and rain didn't let the tide ebb from the harbour, resulting in a tidal surge 9 feet above the previous highest recorded level, flooding most of what is now Margate Old Town. In the early hours of the 2nd of December, the ship Persian Empire collided with the steamship Carlisle City. Both desperate to make it round the headland, the Persian Empire subsequently ran aground on the far side of Margate Bay, dashed against the Nayland Rock. The crew fired their flares at 5 a.m, but further tragedy was yet to come. Within 30 minutes, the surfboat Friend to All Nations was in the water alongside the RNLI lifeboat Quiver. The Friend to All Nations was a double-headed whaleboat built in the local style, 32 feet long and 5 foot 3 inches wide at its beam, powered by oar and sail. 12 men, plus the superintendent of the Margate Ambulance Association, Charles Troughton, heaved into the maelstrom to attempt rescue. In the 21 years since the boat had come on station, it had saved 395 lives. But none would be added to that tally today. In the dark, amidst the tempest and the driving rain, a tremendous sea struck the boat a quarter-mile from shore. She capsized in about 12 feet of water. All aboard were thrown into the sea. 9 lifeboat men lost their lives, including the coxswain and the good doctor. I've read the details of the inquest held the next day, but what's more remarkable is that over 3,000 people dressed in black came out for the funeral. They are said to have lined the entire route from Margate Parade to the cemetery. Shops were closed from noon till 4, and blinds were drawn in houses, and church bells tolled. Today still, as you leave Margate train station, you'll see the memorial statue to the crew who lost their lives. A young man in a cork life vest looking out to sea. My understanding of the role of the RNLI is completely shaped by this story. I first heard it as a child, growing up on the chalk by the sea. As an adult, I've done loads of research. My whip solarpunk novel, Smuggler's Leap, was at one point named Friend to All Nations. Today, the Lifeboat Service in Margate is still bringing desperate people ashore. All the volunteers who risk their lives to save others, and have been since the time of King George IV, 10 years longer than the Conservative Party has been in existence. As the saying goes, a cry for help is the same in any language. Whatever the weather, no questions asked. The phrase Friend to All Nations, to me, is not just the name of a boat. It's a phrase deeply embedded in my psyche and my politics. The Lifeboat Service is one of the only institutions in the UK that embodies the notion of the moral good. Human beings who will launch to another's rescue without judgment. Heroes, in other words. This week, right-wing reactionary foghorn Nigel Farage called the RNLI a migrant taxi service for rescuing desperate people at risk of drowning in the Channel. And budget British Shapiro troller-like Darren Grimes did a British lifeboats for British people routine. This latest move in the culture war is backdropped by the government's Nationality and Borders Bill, which will see rescues at sea criminalised for knowingly assisting people to arrive in the UK without permission. People like Farage and Grimes are a cancer in our culture. What we are seeing is an attack on the very idea of compassion, a disregard for human kindness, life, fellow feeling and humility. Fuck that. This is not what we are about as a society. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted and forgiving. I'm clearly not alone. Donations to the RNLI are up 3,000% after Farage's migrant criticism. I've donated, so should you.